What's going on, guys and girls? How are you doing today? It's Single Roleplay here once again. Today I want to share my first impressions of the last EPOCH Beta that just been released 3 days ago, guys. And unlike many people who played for just 2 hours and shared their thoughts, I actually played for 30 plus hours, and I was quite swallowed by the game. I was quite sucked in by the game, and was totally blown away by the whole game concept, gameplay, and how well it plays, and how pretty addictive it is. And honestly, it allowed me to literally sit and play for 3 days straight. So first of all, I want to talk a little about how the game plays and feels. If you play games like Grim Dawn and Diablo 3, you will be pretty familiar with it, because it's literally a clone of all that we've seen before. Plays a lot like Grim Dawn mix Diablo 3. Grim Dawn is more like visually appealing, and Diablo 3 is more about combat and battle. It really does feel a lot like Diablo 3 in terms of combat. It is faster than Grim Dawn, but not as shiny as Grim Dawn in terms of the graphics and all that shit. Overall, I want just to share my thoughts, what I like about this game and what I dislike about this game, and then in the other videos I will go deeper into characters and skills and endgame and all of this, so I can get like deeper thing for you. I also want to tell you that I'm about to create my very first build guide, because I level up quite high. Like I said, I'm 30 hours plus into the game. I have level 72 Void Knight, and I did most content in the game, actually all content in the game. I did enormous amount of all kind of rifts, monuments, arena battles, farming. I've seen a lot of uniques already, so I have like full understanding. I unspect, despect, respect, specialized, despecialized in different skills, tried to get the best feeling of the game, the best setup. So I'll be releasing the full build guide pretty soon for this. Well, first of all, what I like about this game is definitely the campaign and storyline is pretty damn strong for the beta. I would say that I was surprised by how much they put into the beta. I expected to have like a dozen of areas which have me occupied for a couple of hours, like in Volson, but I was totally surprised that there are dozens on top of dozens and dozens of areas, and the whole campaign and storyline currently in the beta will have you occupied for about a day or 2 days even. It's quite a lot of areas. Like I said, at least 8 hours plus you will be busy within this, more than the Grim Dawn expansion, honestly. There's quite a lot of content for the beta. Don't fear this, guys. Don't be afraid. Another thing that is very positive is the skill tree system, which you see right now. It's like the active skills. I was totally surprised how well it plays. I've played it in the alpha stages, so I know how it plays. But it got better. It got more skills now. Now it really feels like a somewhat solid character that you can build within the game. It feels really nice, really smooth. There is a synergy. Everything is well thought out, I would say. I was pretty surprised how well it functions. Skill-wise, skill tree system-wise, it's a bit of a mix between the Diablo 2 and Grim Dawn. Once again, they borrowed a lot of things for the Diablo 3 and Grim Dawn. So if you play these games, you will be familiar with this. At the same time, I was very happy with the end game as well. I think that the end game system is pretty nice. There are 2 types of things that you can do right now in the beta, which is like the Great Rifts, and then you go to the arena, which is a lot like Crucible in Grim Dawn. So you first go to this trial, let's say like trials, which are maps, which you basically farm loot and do like a mission, kill the boss, cleanse the shrine. Then you go to town, as you can see, open up a chest, and you have a chance to drop the arena key, which you can later go to the arena and find multiple waves of monsters out there, and go climb the ladder. So Overall, I am pleased with how endgame works. It feels pretty damn interesting, rewarding. The maps also have these like great rifts have very interesting mechanics. I will talk about it later on in a separate video, but I like how it synergizes, how it works together. Another thing that I really like, guys, is the combat system. I think that combat is really well done. It doesn't feel like shit. It doesn't feel like it's a stupid, addition to something. It really feels like a good synergy. And what I like about this specific game is that combat actually takes like 99.9% of your game time. You do not read third-party websites. You do not trade some shit. You do not search for some shit. You are not really crafting some shit. You are actually killing monsters like 99% of the game. You're actually smashing some shit, killing some shit, gathering some shit, and building your character. This is what action RPG should be there, and you always feel like a progress. I also like how much you gather experience. There's always a smooth progress. Like, so the curve, how it progresses, is really smooth and nice. You do not feel like you are not progressing. You're always doing something, always gaining levels, always finding better loot, because the monsters automatically scale with your level if you're going to this end game, which is Monolith of Fate. You always automatically scale your monsters with your level, which is like the Elder Scrolls things out there. So I really like this. Another thing that I personally like, as you see right now, is the crafting system is incredibly easy, straightforward. At the same time, it is surprisingly effective and I would say gentle made. There's no over complexity. It borrows the best from Path of Exile, in my opinion, and Grim Dawn, and makes it just simple and effective. I was totally surprised by how easy, straightforward, and at the same time powerful and effective this crafting system is. I will go deeper into detail on how to craft things in last epoch on a separate video, like a guide of some kind. But another thing that totally surprised me within this game is that magic items are actually even more powerful than the rare items, simply because they can be crafted more than the rare items, because the rare items basically like have fixed amount of stats on them, like from 2, 3 to 4, and magic items can have like 1 stat on them, and the other 3 you can craft on top, making it more customizable. This is probably the first game that I ever see that actually has magic items more flexible and powerful than the rare items, because most of the time, like in Grim Dawn, for example, you run like in about 10 minutes you already remove these blue items from the ground, because they are absolutely worthless. So all these things combined, make it it's a very solid experience. I absolutely think that it's worth the money, at least on Steam. Because the beta is $35 on a website of last epoch game, but on Steam you can get it cheaper because it's in your local currency. It can be cheaper. I purchased this a little bit cheaper in my country, but so check it out. Now, what I don't like in last epoch, what I personally don't like in last epoch. First of all, there's no mana potion. I was totally surprised with this, because there are health potions, but mana potions just do not exist. And there are multiple ways around this, how the game tries to get around this usage of mana by a thing called mana effectiveness, by reducing the mana cost and all that shit. But overall, I think it was a bad idea to remove the mana potion from the game, because it literally introduces a huge amount of kiting around the endgame content, around bosses specifically, where you effectively just run out of mana entirely and just need to run around like an idiot, waiting for your mana to just replenish pretty much like in Diablo 3 for the most part, I guess. You know, Diablo 3 had this problem when you ran out of your resource and could just not, you know, spam till you get some kind of globs and shit, or replenish your resource on and start actually doing damage. At the same time, Diablo 3 had a problem with enormous amount of cooldowns there as well. So it also kind of feels that the last epoch is basically trying to go the same route, and I don't think it's a very nice route. I don't think that's a very correct route to go. I think there should be something better for mana management. Another thing that I just not dislike, but it's felt a little bit, this feels a little bit disturbing at this point, in the amount of exploits and overpowered items. But once again, guys, this is a beta and it's out there for just 3 days, so and the guys are doing a fantastic job trying to fix that shit. They already released the patch, and there's another patch coming, so they're constantly trying to fix things up, and which I totally applaud to them for this, because they're walking their asses off. So keep in mind, this game is still incredibly raw. There's still a lot of things that are bad. There are bugs out there, it crashes sometimes in some areas. But honestly, I didn't crash that much. I only started crashing in Waterway Complex. I believe there is like a very bugged area, and the loading times are also pretty atrocious in some areas. At the same time, there are like the overall optimization of the game is extremely poor, also because once you get quite a bunch of characters, it really starts to overload your screen and lags out like crazy, especially very hard to go into the arena on some intense character like this Warpath Void Knight. So the game is still pretty raw, I would say, and you know, it just needs time to become better and better, but overall I think it's still an incredible experience, well worth the money. So what I didn't like I said, is the absence of mana potions, which really favors and benefits towards characters that do not need mana, like the minion builds that don't give a shit about mana for the most part. They always do damage because the minions run around and do some kind of damage. But for the active character, like active spellcasters and active melee characters, they constantly do something. The absence of mana potions is like a big deal in my opinion. Something needs to be done and balanced this way. Another thing that I didn't like I mentioned previously, is the amount of exploits and broken items. I think that will be all fixed out, but currently there is a ladder in Last Epoch, and the ladder is entirely broken by the broken characters, broken skills, and broken items. And competing on the ladder right now is quite pointless, because people are abusing these items, exploits, and broken skills like crazy. So there's really no incentive to push that very hard. I did like 109 wave yesterday, and I still died to literally one shot, because there was something killed me literally instantly. So I was surviving well for about an hour and a half, and then something just blew the fuck out of me with one hit. And obviously it's just some staking overtuned one-shot mechanic. This is out of tune, and I even collecting this kind of bugs and one-shots, and I will release a separate video. I will send it to the Last Epoch guys for feedback. I really want them to see to look into this and probably fix it, because it's just not how it should be. But overall, like I said, I'm super pleased with the game, guys. It's a very solid experience. It offers fantastic replayability too. It has vast majority and different types of skills and things. It has a great replay value, great time for investment. I couldn't stop playing for 3 days, and I have like 30 plus hours in it, so absolutely worth the time, guys. Try it out. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, being it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join the Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.